Welcome to WCG Talks Trials, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of clinical research, sharing the latest trends, insights, and best practices from experts across the industry. In each episode of WCG Talks Trials, we'll explore a different area of the clinical trial industry, while featuring a diverse range of clinical research and medical professionals. If you're passionate about advancing clinical research, improving patient outcomes, and driving healthcare forward, then WCG Talks Trials is the right podcast for you. We are so glad you could join us today.
Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of WCG Talks Trials. Today we're diving into a dynamic and timely topic, artificial intelligence and the digital future of health in Latin America. I'm Gabriella Tost, Country Manager for Latin American Clinical Research Solutions, and I'll be the host for today. I'm joined by 3 regional experts who bring deep experience in clinical research across Latin America. We have Mercedes Lopez, Regional Operations Manager for Latin America with Clinical Research Solutions.
Hi, Gabby. Thank you for having me.
We also have Camila Santos, Site Service Specialist for Latin America, also with Clinical Research Solutions.
Hi, Gabby. Thank you so much for having me as well. Pleasure to be here.
And Sebastian Florez, also Site Service Specialist for Latin America and Clinical Research Solutions.
Hello, Gabby. Thank you for having us today. Very excited to be here.
Thank you all for being here to share your insights on this important conversation. The way clinical trials are designed and conducted in Latin America is changing at an unprecedented pace. Technology and innovation are transforming traditional barriers, making clinical research smarter, more inclusive, and accessible to diverse populations. As Latin America emerges as a strategic hub for clinical studies, sponsors and stakeholders who lead the way in adopting these trends stand to gain significant advantages. In today's episode, we'll discuss how AI and digital innovation are shaping clinical research, the opportunities and the challenges unique to the region, and what this means for the future of health. Let's get started. Mercedes, in the realm of how technology is breaking barriers, how are telemedicine platforms and wearable biosensors revolutionizing clinical trial participation and accessibility in Latin America?
Telemedicine platforms and wearable biosensors are really transforming how people in Latin America participate in clinical trials, Gabby. In Latin America, most trial sites are concentrated in major urban hubs, places like Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Bogotá, Santiago, Buenos Aires. One of the biggest hurdles in clinical trials in the past has been the geographical limitations, with most trials centered in urban areas that have the necessary medical infrastructure, and that automatically exclude huge portions of the population who live in rural areas or simply far from specialized hospitals. We first saw the positive response to telemedicine in Latin America during COVID, and that's a big deal. In Latin America, distance isn't just distance. It's long travel times, unpredictable transportation, and added costs. And telemedicine is not only expanding participation, but also ensures that a more diverse demographic is represented, leading to richer and more applicable outcomes.
So I'm also curious, biosensors seem to be getting a lot of attention lately. What do you think is driving the popularity and widespread use of them?
Yes, Gabby. When we add wearable biosensors into the mix, that's when things get even more innovative. In Latin America, wearable biosensors have become increasingly popular. These devices are appealing because they integrate seamlessly into our daily lives. We see it in our phones, we see it in our smartwatches, and if people want more consciously track, people acquire more dedicated devices. And these devices are closing the inequality gap for some populations, offering users insights into their health and enabling more proactive management of wellness. Culturally, the adoption of wearable biosensors is encouraging a shift towards a more preventive health mindset in Latin America. People are more attuned to their body signals and are engaging with technology that empowers them to take charge of their own health. The rise in biosensors in Latin America is a testament to the region's readiness to embrace digital health innovations and transforming how patients and doctors interact. So continuous monitoring can be particularly beneficial for Latin Americans managing chronic conditions such as diabetes or hypertension and providing alerts or insights that help with timely intervention. The integration of wearable biosensors in Latin America is more than a technological trend. It's reshaping how people view and manage their health, leading to a more proactive and informed population. So this cultural shift is playing a crucial role in the region's healthcare evolution, stimulating intergenerational, family, and community dialogue and between technology and health.
Those are some fascinating insights. It's clear that the wearable biosensors are creating real shifts in both technology and how people engage with their health. Building on that, what do you think makes the region specially ready to adopt digital health solutions?
Well, Gabi, there's been a rapid acceptance in mobile technology across the region, with smartphones becoming abundant in the region. So this tech savviness provides an ideal base for telemedicine and digital health services to increase. People are becoming more comfortable with digital tools, and governments are eager to improve that healthcare access, aligning perfectly with what telemedicine offers. The region holds a rich diversity of patients in terms of genetics, in terms of lifestyles, and disease presence, making it a gold mine for gathering global relevant data. Trials in Latin America can lead to insights that are applicable not just locally, but globally. And let's not forget, with economic pressures, there's a growing demand for cost-effective health solutions, which these digital modalities can provide by cutting down on infrastructure costs. So when we put it all together, telemedicine and wearables are not just improving trial accessibility and effectiveness, they're setting Latin America up as a powerhouse of digital health, opening up new opportunities for innovation and improved healthcare outcomes. It's an exciting time for Latin America, and we're only just beginning to tap into its potential.
Thank you, Mercedes. It's clear that these digital health tools are driving real change, making trials more accessible, and helping Latin America set new standards in clinical research. Sebas, now on to you. With regards to the use of AI, can you explain a little bit about how artificial intelligence is improving patient identification and site selection for clinical trials in Latin America?
Are your clinical trials stalling due to recruitment hurdles, slow site activation, or unpredictable timelines? Discover WCG Study Accelerator, a powerful solution designed to supercharge your study execution. With a single connected strategy, WCG Study Accelerator leverages operational intelligence and real-time insights to help you avoid risk, reduce inefficiencies, and compress trial timelines by up to 20%. Don't just run your trials, accelerate them. Learn more at wcgclinical.com/study-accelerator.
Absolutely, Gabi. Artificial intelligence is bringing significant efficiency and precision to both patient identification and site selection for clinical trials in Latin America. Traditionally, patient recruitment could be very manual and time-consuming process, with researchers often shifting through limited patient databases or relying on referrals. Now, with AI in the mix, we are able to process larger amounts of data from diverse sources such as electronic health records, genomic databases, insurance claims, and public health registries. AI algorithms can quickly scan and match eligible patients to clinical trial criteria by recognizing subtle patterns in health data, disease history, and demographic characteristics. This dramatically speeds up the identification process, making recruitment faster and more accurate. Additionally, AI can simulate and predict scenarios around patient outcomes, helping researchers to select not just the right patients, but also anticipate trial success or challenges based on real-world data. When it comes to site selection, AI is great. It reviews historical performance, demographic information, and the infrastructure of multiple trial sites across the region. Sponsors can leverage this intelligence to focus recruitment efforts on locations with higher concentrations of eligible subjects and more reliable operational capacity. Ultimately, AI-driven tools help to minimize errors, reduce unexpected events, and ensure that both patients and site are selected within the highest likelihood to contributing to a successful trial. It's a game changer for research efficiency in Latin America.
Thank you, Sebas. These advancements are very promising. Can you tell me a little bit about the challenges with fragmented health records and how AI is helping to overcome these obstacles?
This is a critical issue in the context of Latin America, Gabi. Fragmented health records mean that the patient information often exists isolated across different hospitals, clinics, and health systems, sometimes even as paper records or within incompatible platforms. I have an example to share with you shortly, Gabi. We've seen that piecing together a patient's complete health profile becomes challenging. These gaps are especially present in rural and underserved areas where digital infrastructure is limited and data may not be collected or shared in the best way. This fragmentation blocks the ability of research teams to accurately identify eligible patients for clinical trials, slowing the recruitment process and increasing the risk of mistakes. Manual methods for pre-screening and data review take time, and they are subject to human error and incomplete information. So, artificial intelligence plays a transformative role here. AI can harmonize data from different sources whenever it is electronic health records, scanned documents, wearable device outputs, or even doctor notes. Right now, Mexico recently announced a national data processing platform called Coatlicue, in which aims to centralize federal and health-related information within the country. It is a state-owned digital infrastructure that aligns with global trends, showing that the future of AI in clinical research will rely not only on technology, but also on secure, regulated, and locally controlled data environments. By integrating and structuring patient information, AI helps to build a much richer and more accurate view of the patient health status. Besides, AI automates many tasks that were previously manual, such as eligibility checks, data cleaning, and matching patients to trial protocols. This automation greatly reduces the burden on site coordinators and minimize errors. This is something that we look forward to seeing and providing to our coordinators in WCG. The use of AI in overcoming these barriers is helping bring more representative and efficient research to Latin America.
Thank you, Sebas. AI is truly a transformative force. It's helping modernize recruitment and expand opportunities for more diverse and efficient clinical research. Now, moving into diversity and equity in research, Cami, can you tell us a little bit about the ways in which digital tools are expanding access to underserved and rural populations?
That's a great question, Gabby. Mercedes already mentioned a little bit about this topic, but just to be more specific, in Brazil, we're seeing a big wave of tech innovation, especially with biosensors. These devices help manage chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease, and thanks to Anvisa's faster approval process, startups can bring the solutions to market much quicker. Like Sebas mentioned as well, Mexico is also moving fast, combining biosensors with telemedicine, which is a game changer for areas where healthcare is hard to reach. Ecuador is also aligning with international standards, opening doors for global partnerships and investments. What's exciting, though, is that the collaboration across Latin America. Countries are sharing ideas and tech, creating an environment where telemedicine and biosensors aren't just tools. They are really helping make healthcare more accessible and effective. Honestly, seeing this level of teamwork is inspiring.
Those examples are so encouraging, and it's exciting to see both innovation and collaboration driving changes across the region. Expanding the access can really make a difference in people's everyday lives. On that note, how does reaching more communities help clinical studies become more representative?
You know, Gabi, for a long time, clinical trials in Latin America really struggled connecting with communities outside major cities. Medical records were all over the place and logistics were complicated, so a lot of people were left out. And that meant the data didn't truly represent the population. Now, AI tools and digital platforms are changing that. Researchers can find participants in both cities and remote areas, pulling data from health records, telemedicine, and even wearables. The impact is huge, as you can imagine. Recruitment is more inclusive, data is stronger, and study teams have less paperwork to work with, which leads to faster enrollment. At the end of the day, trials can finally reflect real-world communities, and that's a win for both science and patients.
Thank you, Cami. It's really inspiring that digital innovation is not just broadening the access, but also helping clinical research better represent true diversity of Latin America's communities. With an inclusion on the rise, let's now explore how evolving regulatory practices and streamlined approved processes are driving further progress in the region. Mercedes, what are recent changes Latin America regulators made to support the modernization of clinical trial frameworks?
Well, starting with Brazil, the country has made significant reforms in regulatory frameworks through the Brazilian Health Regulatory Agency, Anvisa. Anvisa has implemented faster approval timelines for clinical trials by adopting a risk-based approach, focusing more on the potential impact and safety of the trials rather than a one-size-fits-all model. This acceleration in the approval process allows Brazil to keep pace with rapid technological advancements, making it a more competitive player in the global clinical research area. In Mexico, the Federal Commission for the Protection Against Sanitary Risk, or COFEPRIS, has streamlined the procedures. One noteworthy change is the implementation of electronic submissions and digital tools to manage regulatory processes. So this digital transition not only reduces paperwork, but also improves the clarity and accessibility of information. And these efforts have not only expedited trial approvals, but have also encouraged the participation of both domestic and international researchers. I can't begin to tell you how grateful our clinical research colleagues in Mexico are with these changes, Gabi. As these countries implement effective regulatory strategies, we're seeing a ripple effect across the region. So neighboring countries are taking note of the successes in Brazil and in Mexico and are beginning to replicate similar frameworks. This is particularly evident in countries like Ecuador, Argentina, and Colombia, where regulators are adopting electronic systems and risk-based approaches to streamline their own processes.
It's impressive to see how these regulatory changes are not only speeding up clinical trial approvals, but also fostering more collaboration and innovation throughout Latin America. The ripple effect you mentioned is truly shaping the future of the region's research landscape. With all these reforms happening, Mercedes, how is regulatory harmonization helping accelerate the adoption of new technologies?
This move towards harmonization and efficient regulatory processes across Latin America is creating a more unified and attractive landscape for clinical trials. By learning from each other and adopting proven strategies, the region is enhancing its ability to rapidly integrate new technologies such as telemedicine and the wearable biosensors into clinical trials. This not only boosts the region's global competitiveness, but also ensures that innovative health solutions reach patients faster and more effectively. Gabi, the positive regulatory changes in the countries like Brazil, Mexico, and Ecuador are setting benchmarks for others in the region, fostering an environment of cooperation and shared growth. So this collective push towards modernization is paving the way for Latin America to play a pivotal role in the future of global healthcare innovation.
Thank you so much, Mercedes. It's great to see how regulators across Latin America are modernizing, making things more efficient, and really just coming together to create strong foundations for clinical research. Now that we've talked about the regulatory side, I'd love to hear more about the sponsor's perspective. Sebas, why do you think this is such a great moment for global organizations to invest in clinical research in Latin America?
Latin America is rapidly emerging as a prime destination for global clinical research. And the timing couldn't be better for the sponsors to get involved. Regulatory agencies like Anvisa in Brazil and COFEPRIS in Mexico are actively modernizing their frameworks. They are putting policies in place to support ethical use of artificial intelligence, streamline approvals, and make the clinical trial environment more attractive for innovation and collaboration. Alongside regulatory progress, we are seeing digital health adoption take off, with telemedicine and wearable technologies making decentralized trials much more feasible. This means that researchers can reach participants beyond traditional urban centers, tapping into the rich diversity of the region's population. Latin America offers a unique blend of genetic backgrounds and disease profiles, making it an ideal environment for globally relevant studies. There are also significant cost efficiencies in conducting trials in the region. Site and operational costs remain lower than many markets, while the infrastructure and technology are steadily improving. By investing now, sponsors can help shape the process and standards, foster strong partnerships with research sites, and establish themselves before the market gets crowded. Early investment also allows sponsors to build lasting relationships, gain insights into local nuances, and set the stage for long-term competitive advantage. What's more, advances in AI-driven recruitment and increasing regulatory harmonization are positioning Latin America as a leader in inclusive, innovative research. Sponsors who act now won't just benefit from short-term gains. They'll be helping to set the global agenda for future clinical studies.
You've highlighted so many exciting reasons why Latin America is becoming a go-to destination for global clinical research, Sebas. The combination of regulatory modernization, technological advancements, and the rich diversity really sets the region apart. Building on that, what competitive advantages do early adopters of AI and decentralized trials technologies have in Latin America?
Early adopters in AI in Latin America stand to unlock several key advantages. First and foremost, AI-powered tools dramatically accelerate patient recruitment and retention by automating the matching process and enabling ongoing remote monitoring. This means that clinical trials can reach enrollment target faster and maintain higher participant engagement through the study. Decentralized trials also bring major operational efficiencies. Patients no longer have to travel long distance, and sites see reduced overhead related to on-site visits and facility costs. Real-time data collection from wearables and telehealth platforms not only increase compliance, but also provides richer and more accurate insights for study teams, improving both the quality and the safety of research. By leveraging the region's evolving regulatory landscape, where agencies are encouraging the adoption of digital and AI-based solutions, early movers can streamline the approval process by building trust relationships with regulators. There's considerable value in being seen as a partner in innovation and demonstrating a commitment to ethical and patient-centered research. Ultimately, being at the forefront of these advanced positions sponsors as an industry leader, and it opens doors to strategic partnerships, attracts top talent, and creates opportunity to influence the standard and practices of clinical research across the Latin American and beyond. Those who embrace this technology will early set themselves apart, both locally and globally.
Thank you, Sebas. You really painted a compelling picture of the opportunities for sponsors in Latin America, especially for those embracing innovation early on. Looking ahead, I'm excited to dive into what the future might hold for clinical trials in the region. I'd love to hear everyone's predictions and advice for staying at the forefront of these transformations. Gambi, by 2026, what changes do you see coming in the way clinical research is designed and carried out in Latin America?
Well, when I think about 2026, I see big changes coming for sure. For starters, digital tools will be part of everything we do, from designing studies and improving protocols to finding participants and managing them throughout the trial. On top of that, hybrid and decentralized models will become the norm, with telehealth making it easier to include people from different regions and backgrounds. And it's not just about technology. Research teams will be able to work closely with local communities to make sure studies really fit their health needs and cultural expectations. Plus, data will be finally connected, so those scattered records won't slow us down. And we'll have richer patient profiles to guide decisions. Most importantly, research will be more inclusive and accessible than ever before. People from all walks of life will take part, and sponsors, CROs, and sites will use real-time data to make faster and safer decisions. All of this will put Latin America on the map, not just as a strategic hub, but as a global leader in innovative and inclusive research.
Yeah, I mean, those insights are really exciting, and it's inspiring to think that innovation and community engagement will shape the future of clinical research in Latin America. With so many changes happening, what advice do you have for stakeholders who want to stay ahead and succeed in the rapidly evolving environment?
That's definitely another great question. First off, I would say embrace innovation, not just with the tech, but the new ways of thinking about partnerships and processes. Keep up with digital health trends, AI, and any changes in regulations. And don't forget to build strong relationships with local sites, communities, and regulators. Relationships really matter in Latin America, and they're often the key to making everything else work. Next, invest in digital infrastructure and make sure your teams know how to use these tools. This isn't just about efficiency, it really creates a culture that's flexible and ready to adapt. Also, try out pilot projects with AI or decentralized trials so you can learn and adjust quickly. And most importantly, keep patients at the center. Make participation easy, focus on equity, and really listen to feedback. At the end of the day, those who lead with empathy and are not afraid to innovate will thrive as research in Latin America evolves.
Thank you for those great recommendations. It's clear that staying ahead means embracing both innovation and strong collaborative relationships. Putting patients first and adapting quickly will be key for everyone looking to make an impact in Latin America's evolving research landscape. And with that, I want to thank Cami, Mercedes, and Sebas for sharing their expertise today. We've covered how digital health is transforming clinical trials, how regulatory innovation is accelerating the adoption of new technologies, and why now is such an exciting time for global sponsors to invest in Latin America clinical research. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this episode of WCG Talks Trials. I'm Gabriella Tost, and I was joined by Mercedes Lopez, Camila Santos, and Sebastian Florez. We were delighted to share our perspective with you. If you'd like to learn more or connect with us, please visit wcgclinical.com/insights. And don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify so you never miss an episode. Gracias y nos vemos en la próxima. Hasta luego.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of WCG Talks Trials. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on your preferred listening platform as we continue to explore different areas of the clinical research industry. As always, we encourage you to join in the conversation. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future topics you'd like to hear on the show by visiting us at wcgclinical.com/podcast. We're here to serve as a trusted resource as we work to improve lives and accelerate clinical research together.